Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you and welcome. Welcome to today's deck casual for the Visions of Life Tarot. All of the links to this deck are below, as well as my amazing guest, Tarot Ask Backwards. This is Jeff.
Hello, everybody. For those
How
of
are
you who don't
you?
know who I am really good today. I'm in a good place.
Excellent.
Literally and figuratively.
Nice.
I'm relaxed. Yeah, it's just a little bit. Well, yesterday was nice to sit out. Today, not so much. So I'm glad I have this today.
Yes. Oh yeah. So I have YouTubey things that I need to do.
Okay.
This is for entertainment purposes only. Do not make decisions based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance. Really. And we are talking about this tarot deck, the Visions of Life Tarot. So I want to encourage everyone to purchase responsibly, know your limits. We are here to share, not to sell. So please keep that in mind. Links are below to where you can find out more information about this deck. And so this is by, so I'm gonna pause there for a second. How did you first come to this deck?
This deck I came to as a result of watching Spiritual Growth Tarot's channel, SG Tarot, or as she's known now, Denise Knight Divination. And one of the things that I picked up on from it was sometimes, and this is sort of the trend of the cards that I'm buying recently, the imagery of the cards is almost more important than where they fall in the deck and what their names are. Because yes, what you're going to find with this deck is, even in the guidebook that you downloaded or the guidebook I have, with, you know, the generalities, the meanings and generalities don't necessarily apply, not only to what's obviously in the deck, but where you would derive a meaning in the normal Rider-Waite tarot.
Yes. Yeah.
But she has a good way. The way she reads is so precise that when she does take a meaning from the way the card looks, it is lockstep with what not only the Rider-Waite would say, but what she's getting off of it in terms of the political meaning as well. So I saw the cards and I was just drawn to them.
They're a beautiful illustration. The illustration style is wonderful. And so this is a deck casual. We'll go through all sorts of stuff. Jeff and I are going to talk about some of our favorite cards and cards that we have questions about.
Right.
I am curious if anybody who is watching has this deck. And if they do, what do they think about it? In the meantime, let's say hello to, we have, here, I'll put that up. Please purchase responsibly. I'm a tarot collector. Let's say hi to some people. And by the way, my Wi-Fi is being spotty. So Joyful Jen is here. Hello. Hello. And we have Ramon Moon Scarab is here. Hello. Liz in Awe. And we have the amazing Fogo Pogo, also known as Woo Woo Wonderment. This is Kaylee, so it's good to have you here. Thank you, thank you. So, this deck, it was published in 2018, and it is it's published by Tarocco Studio, and there is a link, and it does come in a tuck box, but this is a fancy tuck box.
I love that. I was going to say, that's not just any ordinary one.
It's got one of these little tabs. It's open, And it fits the cards and the guidebook quite nicely, a little white book. So one of the things that I was that I was appreciating is it does come with a seal on the side,
Yeah.
so you know that it's a legitimate deck. So, and so anyhow, so there's that. It does come with a small guidebook that young eyes can probably see pretty easily.
Yeah, beyond that, it's you've got to download. Yeah.
I'm that guy. So, but it does come with there is available a PDF guidebook from their website that you can download. It's 111 pages or 110 pages. So I did print some of it off, but 4 pages per page. So now it's really hard to see. Oh, Brian, Blushing Nerd Tarot is here. Hello.
Hello, Brian.
So I do want to point something out about this. This is because, it talks about they're drawn from illustrations, and this deck is able to find out and accurately convey your emotional and spiritual state while accumulating the experience of working with the deck. You also get an invisible connection, thanks to which you begin to communicate with the deck at an intuitive level.
Right.
This is a deck they talk about. You can use it for divination. You can also use it at work and for processing feelings and emotions. So,
oh yeah, that makes sense in light of the design. I hadn't read that far into it, as far as the designs of the workplace that are represented there.
Yeah, I could see this. So, and look at that. Medium Betsy Palmer is here. Hello, Betsy. Wonderful to see you.
Hi, Betsy.
And Miss Moonlight is here. So it's lovely to see you. Okay. All right. So it's okay. So let me do all of my things. There is no edging for the deck. Here's the back. And it's a very light blue. And it has right in the center TS for the studio. The cardstock. What do you think of the cardstock, Jeff?
I actually like the cardstock. I think it's pretty easy to shuffle by comparison to other things. The only complaint I might have is that it is they're a little big for my taste. If you have I don't have small hands, but I have fat hands and I don't shuffle well to begin with. That can be a little bit challenging, but it's so worth it. Yeah.
It is definitely wider than your traditional RWS, and because it's 3 1/4 inches by 4 3/4 inches, or 80 millimeters by 120 millimeters. So, and it shuffles quite nice. Actually, it's a good shuffle. So, and it is borderless. You'll see that whilst we show some of the cards that we're working through. Okay, so Jeff, thank you for your patience. I have all of my notes about what I cover.
Okay.
Naming of the major arcana. All of the cards are named differently than what we may be used to in a traditional RWS, Thoth, or Marseille deck. So be aware of that. And I also have, what is the court card namings? They're not associated with the traditional page, knight, queen, and king. They are named something specific related to the meaning of that card and the image on that card.
Correct. Yes, that's important to know about this deck, because the life of the reading takes on more of a figurative one as a result of that.
Yes.
So.
Yes. And So with that in mind, Jeff, I know you've done a couple of shows where you've tried to use it. You've talked about it. You sent me some wonderful videos of somebody who is I identified where they see each card and where it falls in the traditional 78 tarot deck. And I haven't decided how I'm going to use the deck. Oh, and Jenny Berlin is here. Hi, Jenny. Good to see you. I haven't decided how I'm going to use the deck because, to be honest with you, I've had this deck for about 3 months, and I didn't shuffle it until yesterday because I was worried about putting it out of order, because I was like, going, what order is this in? So
yeah, but then, as I said, you go through it and you think because there is a certain pattern at different points, like with the 7, 8, and 9 of coins that do adhere to something. But then when they throw in something like the term motivation : in the middle of that, you start thinking of the swords, and you don't know if you're jumping out of the swords, into the pentacles, or what, you know what I mean? So, and I guess there's a good reason for that. Maybe, and it does come from Russia, everybody. Mine did.
Yes, mine did as well. And here's the other thing about this is it is beautifully illustrated, and part of me wants to completely ignore the traditional meanings and just use the illustrations to tell the story of what I'm reading, and not limiting myself to the traditional meanings, because I actually liked it a lot. Now, one of the things that I did, Jeff, is I was looking through the book, and then so we get through card 21, which is the world, and then we start with single keywords. And so I went through and counted 14 spaces to go, okay, these are all the same suit per se. And so I did that. So, but as we talk about this, we're gonna talk about our the decks, the cards that we really like and the cards that we're struggling with, because Jeff and I haven't planned this. I have all of my cards, not with the exception of the major arcana, in alphabetical order, because I want to show everybody here's what the cards look like. So they're borderless, and I think they're beautifully illustrated. The colors are great. And by the way, the cardstock is lovely. It's not too glossy. It's great shuffleability. So, but yeah, anything you want to say about the cards per se?
I guess if you're into symbology and you know the symbology of the Rider-Waite, there are some instances where there's a certain degree of overlap where it becomes easier to understand the meaning of the card. Like the ones that will resonate, will be automatically with you, would be, the 4 of coins, the world, things like that. Or maybe even after you think about, and what it does is, the thing I like in general about this deck is it does give you pause to stretch your brain and exercise what you do know about the cards. Yes. Because the greater degree of knowledge you have of them, the greater degree that the very little encapsulated meanings they give will be salient. They'll make a lot of sense to you. But there are points at which you look at them. As I was telling Gerald backstage, there are 2 lover cards. One obviously is the one because it's in red and it has a Roman numeral on it. But then there's another one in here that is some type of cup, I think, but it's not. I'm thinking it might be an early cup, with the fish. Now that I'm thinking about it, I just got to hit it. It might be the Page of Cups. I don't know, unless I designated something else a Page of Cups. But the point of it is, there's a level of adherence, but there's also not a level of adherence where there's a lot of abstraction on the reader's part. So I think it
Yes.
would be interesting to use this deck.
Yeah.
That's
And I'm hoping that after we do this, we might want to get together and do some readings using it.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's something that you'd like to see, let us know. I also, one of the things in the guidebook that you can download, it's basically a full page of information for each card. It's a lot of insight.
That I didn't know. I haven't.
Yeah. So it's very helpful, and it does give reverse meanings. So, and and it gives a color illustration of the card. So it's quite helpful that way. So, but all right. So I want to, and there are 78 cards. There's no more. There's no less. But Jeff, would you be willing to share one of your favorite cards?
Mm-hmm.
And Pia's Eclectic Life is here.
So the conformity card. Any guesses as to what this is? This one's pretty easy. The way that the Pope is able to pull the strings of the devil, and I think this is like a little devil in training, or a little devil that's been brought into the world. The actual idea that, you know, Catholicism or the priest can do the devil's bidding, and the devil can see less imposing, you know, all throughout history is what we get from this. So even though it can be a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, an institution, you know, it takes on a life of its own, especially in a political read. That's one of my favorites. Yeah. And then to kind of show you like one that I.
Okay, hold off on a second. This is a major arcana because it has a Roman numeral. So this would be the Roman numeral 5, which is the Hierophant. So, and this is the spin that they are putting on it. So, and you do a lot of political reads, Jeff. So this is this is good. So yeah. Okay. So what were you going to show with this?
The one I was going to show with this that like this one I struggled with for a while. But I think I know what it is now. And I went through 2 different ideas about what it could be. At first, I thought it was the Page of Cups. You know why? Because in the Page of Cups, there are like, 7 different things from which someone could choose that, you know, represent the 7 deadly sins. And you have the devil fighting within in the gentleman's mind, or the devil, he's fighting against the devil and what the sins could be, right? But in reality, it's not that. And if you take into consideration the word uncertainty, which has a completely different tone to the sort of chaotic sense of his mind, although it makes a lot of sense. But when the actual card number comes into play, to me, it's the 2 of Swords, because it can be someone, when the 2 of Swords is reversed, is about denial. He has to make a decision. So that's what led me to know it was uncertainty. So it was one of my worst cards when I looked at it. I didn't know what the hell it was. And then I figured it out.
Okay. And Miss Moon, Betsy said, that's what I thought at first glance, the Hierophant. And yes, Miss Moonlight, the Roman numeral cards do correspond to the traditional meanings.
But those are the easier ones to understand anyway.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm doing some scanning to see if I can find that, because these are set up to where they're not identified as the traditional. So I'm looking at for uncertainty to where that falls in the little guidebook. Uncertainty, 2 of Swords is where I put it. Yes. So, okay. Well, one of the cards that I thought was really great is I love the Fool. Look at that.
I like that one too.
It's so funny. We have this, I'm going to say, mother throwing their child out from the nest. I like the home sweet home. And this, depending upon where it falls in a reading, Jeff, this could really convey various meanings and various approaches to the question and the position. So I think
Right.
that's
Any stage, like if it's put up to against a major arcana, it has an inflection point as far as what the next card is, as to how you're going to read it. Yeah.
Yeah. Miss Charlotte is like, go mom. So, all right. And one of the other cards that I had, because I enjoyed it, is Reflection, which is the High Priestess.
Yeah, I do agree that is the High Priestess, although I found that one hard at first too, because I, took into account that the High Priestess, when she's by herself, is in silence. And I think she's in almost a meditative silence. So I had this sensation that was not what was happening. But I guess, talking in a computer and with a relatively new technology, and reflection to me might almost meant something with the cups about reflecting on the past, like a Six of Cups. So I was very careful when I looked at the meanings. And it does, one of the things it does do is, if you're a fan of language and how language is misused, and or how the nuance of language portrays the definition of these cards, it makes you think really long and hard about what you're looking at versus what the words are. And that's so key to this deck.
So, yeah, I thought of this as the High Priestess. I found it interesting because for me, the High Priestess is going inward to find one's information. And for me, I actually see this person is journaling and writing some things. And so this is that they are reaching back to themselves, reflecting what they are writing. And that could be very, very helpful.
Yeah, and I saw it the other way, which is what made it so difficult for me.
Of course, yeah. Jane the Seeker Tarot is here. Hi, Jane. Good to see you. All right, Jeff, what do you got for your next card?
The other one that I did like, that wasn't obvious, that I'm struggling with, although no longer struggling with it, is Education. Now, there are a couple different things going on here. This is obviously the Page of Pentacles, because you can see the pentacles, I guess, although they look kind of like balloons. But when I think about Education, the Page of Swords is the one where you have the student, taking, laterally within the next suit. In the Page of Swords, it's about study. It's about, on a certain level of overconfidence about knowledge, but there's this sort of practicality here that isn't associated with the swords. It's associated with the pentacles. So it seemed almost in opposition to what I thought this card should be, but it did end up being the Page of Pentacles. Now, in the regular Rider-Waite, the Page of Pentacles to me, you guys, is more, if I had to assign one word, and I'm going to steal from Thomas and Hershey. It was Hershey that called this a promise, the Page of Pentacles. No, that's the Ace of Pentacles. But the Page of Pentacles, I don't associate with education, is my point. And I don't, and if, and like in this instance, the regular Rider-Waite picture is not coming to mind of what that looks like. So that's another thing that can be a hindrance, or it can be something positive, because you really should go on your instinct and your gut. So
yes. And these are actually, they're balloons that have clocks on them, clock faces. So I find that very interesting. And yes, page of Pentacles. And just to share what is in this is manifestation, financial opportunity, and new job. So, and Jane the Seeker said, I associate all pages as students. That makes sense.
That does make sense.
And Liz and Awe said, very interesting cards, not available on Amazon Mexico. It is not. It's currently only available through their website. So that also helps you ensure that you're getting a legit copy.
Yeah.
A legit copy. So.
And the actual printing of them might be in Russia, but I think Tarocco Studios is in Italy.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, one of the this is the Lovers card, or relationships, and I found this one interesting because it's a major arcana, but how we approach ourselves, and we are still intermingling with other people around us. So it's I like the approach that it is about relationships and how we interact with ourselves and others. I find that fascinating.
Yeah, and it also has the reverse meaning sort of up in the upright mode, because you see half of her hand, you see another hand around his, which I guess might not be his, and then her ass here, or her legs here, contorted. It's almost like we try hard to be in a relationship that's not supposed to be, I guess, with the contortions. And yet if it were in the regular right of weight and flipped upright, it's about self-love or walking out on someone or divorce or what have you. So yeah, I find that one interesting as well.
Yeah. So, yeah. And Kiba is here. Hi, Kiba.
Hi, Kiba.
And Jane the Seeker says, it looks like they are tangled up together, but they want to be with someone else. Very much.
Exactly, Jane.
Yeah. 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 It's a new relationship. Yep. This is an interesting deck, but scrambling my brain a bit early in the morning to tackle this one. Enjoy your coffee. It is early because she is in Maui. So, but yeah. So, do you have other cards that you really like?
Mm-hmm.
What do you got?
This one I found interesting again because it sort of sticks around the same lines that we just discussed about someone wrapped around someone else. It's the Principles card, which is King of Swords. I don't know if you agree with that, but the imagery in it, where, you know, almost like who wears the pants the right way. It's in it, his gut is like protruding and it's going down, and it's like, it's not so much for what you look like, it's about what you stand for. And he's standing in his principles, even if he looks disheveled, even if he doesn't present himself in a very polished way that someone, you know, in a position, in a workplace, as you might say, Gerald, should. Yet there is, and what's funny about this, because I always think of the King of Swords as some type of strategy. And I don't necessarily know if that's more the Queen of Swords or the King of Swords, but anyway, it really renders this card, or this King of Swords, in almost a more lighter fashion than what it is before. Like, he's willing to go to whatever nth degree to show that he can do something, or hold tight to what he believes.
Yeah. And the little white book, the little guidebook says clear thinking, intellectual power, authority, truth, and reversed is manipulative, tyrannical, and abusive. One of the reasons that I actually pulled this out, that I like it, is because when we understand our principles, we can follow our gut because it's so core to who we are. And I don't think this person is going to There's a lot of unwinding that would need to happen if they're going to do something other than their principles. So, and
yeah, that's a good way of looking at it too. I hadn't thought of that.
Pamela is here. Hi, Pamela. Good to see you. So, yeah. Do you have another one that you liked?
Yep, I do. This one. This I call the Hermit. Searching. Because look at him. He's and in a lot of the Trump readings that SG Tarot or Denise Knight Divination used to get. She used to get this card for him. He's walking in one direction, or so it seems he's walking in one direction. He doesn't, in other words, he doesn't have his head screwed on right?
Yes.
Because his head is, and then if you look closer at the card, the idea that you can walk comfortably with one hand behind your back and still accomplish what it is you need to accomplish and have the dexterity or the coordination to do so, I think is kind of funny. But again, with the Hermit, just by virtue of the fact that it's called searching, I would not have known that it were the Hermit card. There are like two other, well, at least one other card in the deck that I would consider Hermit if it weren't for the fact that there's the 9 on top.
Yeah,
so,
the Roman numeral. Yeah. I like this one too, because part of the thing about searching as the Hermit is sometimes we can get too caught up and we're not sure where we're going. Half of us is going one way, half of us is going the other way, and we're not looking at where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think this could be a very, very powerful card for that. So,
Miss Charlotte wants to know if there's an Independence card.
I've got that one starred.
I have one here, but I don't know if you're going to agree with it. So I'm going to leave it out and then wait to answer that question when we're ready.
Okay. I've got it starred. One of the things that I pulled is I also pulled the Death card. And
I do like that card too.
It's called Ending. And one of the reasons that I pulled this out is because if you look at this, the Grim Reaper is slapping the person upside the head with an hourglass. And the person is dropping a piggy bank. So to me, it says, stop it. Stop thinking that way about it and get ready to move on and to do something different. It makes me chuckle.
Yeah,
yes,
and
there
the
is
idea, the idea too that the scythe in one hand, and yet I don't know if it's the pentacles that are coming out from under him, if he's got them in some sort of weird headlock, but that we're a slave to the money, then we die, like in the song, like Bittersweet Symphony by the Verve. I think that's really interesting, and the art in that is really good.
So there's that. Do you have another one?
I really like this one, and I don't mean to offend anyone with this, and I don't think the actual creator wanted to, and not that creator, the creator of the deck, Destiny in Wheel of Fortune. The idea that she's confined to a wheelchair, and if you look at the clock, and she's really happy, even though this, her destiny was to be confined to a wheelchair. I see some, almost a sick take on this, but and I think it's different from the Rider-Waite in the sense that when you have the world, it's completion, but Wheel of Fortune is not always about the end through karma. And I don't know how you guys are going to feel, there could be some controversy about this card. And again, for entertainment purposes only, this particular card, shows time going around as she goes around, but it's going backwards, because looking at it, to me, she would be almost, I would say, wheeling it either forwards or backwards, but either way, time's running away from her, and that renders the whole idea of the karma aspect of it, I think 100% about what the card's about. Whereas I think in the regular right away, the idea that if you're a proponent of free will, which I am not in every situation, this is sort of a heartbreaking card in that regard. I don't know, Gerald, what you think. But
well, Miss Charlotte said life is what you make it, and this is the card.
Okay.
This is the card of this is all right. This is what we're going to do. Where are we going to go? How are we going to respond? So, and yeah, I like this card in particular because she looks fairly content. She's not very distraught. A lot of times, the movement on the Wheel of Fortune it's very discombobulating, but I also like how we no longer have the idea of the Wheel of Fortune, but destiny. Okay, now we're going on to that next thing. Now we're moving. So, but yeah. So, but okay, cool. All right, this one took me a little bit of figuring it out. It's 15. It's bondage, so it's the devil. And I looked at this, and I've still looked at this, and I'm like, what is going on? And it's one of those things that it's like, all right, make sure that you're paying attention to what you're doing and what you're signing. So it helped. I'm able to go pay attention and do not be taken advantage of, because what we have is we have somebody with this person is pointing, sign here, and then they're tapping them on the shoulder so that they're looking away. They're not seeing all of the things. And but this is one of those things that it made me go, huh. So there you go. Okay. So I don't know. What did you think about this?
I found that card interesting because it's almost as if he's signing an endless piece of paper at different points, before you get to the business of actually getting anything from the devil. And he's basically signed every aspect of his life away. And made a deal with the devil. I thought that was the most obvious, probably one of the most obvious cards in the deck. But I think what makes it so good is that he's agreeing. I mean, he's looking awestruck at the fact that the devil's got his hands around him after he's already made these deals. So I kind of feel like it's in the way we have to sell out to survive on some level. Yeah.
Well, and Miss Moonlight said the devil is in the details.
That too. That's a very good rendition of it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very good point. So excellent. All right. What do you got, Jeff?
Okay, so here's an instance of where, to me, I wouldn't think what I am going to think about what this card really is.
Okay.
What do you guys think this is? I mean, you'll probably get it before me. But there's another word that you can match with this in the regular Rider-Waite that corresponds to the one card that this is. But then there's the other one where they take the other word that actually sounds like this and they assign it to a different card. And I'm going to show you. Nope, it's not lovers. Nope. And my head went to that. my head actually first went to some type of cup. But then again, there is a card. Yeah, Seven of Cups, exactly, Miss Moonlight. So the problem I had with this is, if you look, and I don't know if you have it maybe more at your hands, Gerald, while you're looking through the deck, if you have the Moon card, I think the Moon card is Delusions. And
it's Delusion, yes.
Yeah. So when I see Delusion, guess what I thought that was? I thought it was what Miss Moonlight said.
Oh, you thought it was the Seven of Cups?
Without looking at the Roman numeral, I would have thought that, or I did think that. However, I guess she, the kiss that frog idea, that's what's going on here. But, to me, if it says delusions, we're taught to think that the Seven of Cups is illusions and delusions. So is it just illusions? And is something lost in the translation, meaning our initial meaning of it is correct, but they just wanted to F with us over in Russia a little bit more.
Well, for me, the moon is always that what you see by the light of the moon is not always accurate. So there's a lot of delusions with that. So for me, it's very much the not seeing. Everything you see by moonlight is delusion. I understand what you are saying, Jeff, and Miss Moonlight said that there are 6 hearts in the background.
Oh, okay.
So then what we have is so that actually helps quite a bit, because it's like, oh, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? So,
oh, Miss Moonlight, good catch.
Very good catch. This is one of the reasons I like doing these things. So, yeah. So this is one that and did you end with it as the Seven of Cups?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
And by the way, where did you write what you called those on these? Did you write them on the back?
On the back.
Is that what I remember? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And there are still several I haven't finished. So if by the end of this we can take a look.
Oh, we will figure that out. Yeah. We will.
Yeah.
We will figure that out for you. And I liked this. I liked number 19, the Sun, Enlightenment. I thought the illustration was great. I oftentimes see the Sun as enlightenment, that you've come up with something, you're getting a different perspective, and I think I love this card. It's great. So, and Jane, that was the Seven of Cups. So yeah, I like Enlightenment. That just makes me happy. It's one of the happy cards for me. So, all right, and all right. What okay, and I really tried to connect with Morgan's tarot. I can appreciate it, but it's just not for me. Okay.
Yeah.
You're pulling out Disharmony.
Yeah. And I know I'm pretty certain I know what this is. But again, what throws you is, if you look at the word disharmony, I thought of it as some sort of imbalance, which it is, but I mean, literally some type of imbalance is not really what this card really is about.
Mm-hmm.
So I called it the Three of Swords. I bet Gerald might have a different take on it.
Well, I'm Disharmony. I actually have. I think you're right. Disharmony is the Three of Swords, according to my calculation. Painful separation, sorrow, heartbreak, grief, rejection.
But
So
you
I
know,
think you're right.
there's nothing really there in the imagery to
No.
look to me as if, you know what I'm saying? So I spent
Well,
like,
there is a tiny heart in their
oh,
hand.
there is. Oh, I see. I don't see it. Yeah. Now I do,
Yeah.
but
So, and one of the things that I appreciate about this is, one of the things that I appreciate, Miss Moonlight, this is the Three of Swords. One of the things that I appreciated about is with these is as I'm thinking of the Three of Swords and Disharmony, it makes sense. I hadn't thought of it that way.
me
So
neither.
it's one of those things, Jeff, that allows my understanding to expand a little bit. So
How many slashes on his tie? 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're calling slashes what I'm calling slashes, I see 5, maybe 6. Pam. I mean, I don't know. Although, is there something in the tie that is slashed beyond the
no, I don't think it's that
contour of the
literal on that,
design?
but I like seeing the heart there. You know. So yeah. Pamela was saying, I wondered if it was a clue. This is where if has been one of the challenging things for me, because I like order in all things, #overachiever. And so that's why yesterday I made the decision, Jeff, I'm not going to try to assign the numbers and the suits to these. I just want to follow along with the story that is told. So, but
Yeah,
now,
and
I
that's the
figured out
debate.
a little bit. It's like,
And that's the debate, and that is what it boils down to, is what your guides are going to tell you
oh yeah,
when you look at it. And that's ultimately what tarot should be. But we get
oh yeah.
so entrenched in that I can't get out of it, because I feel like every system has its own method. So
Yeah. And Miss Moonlight asks, does he got the element of air on his sleeve? I don't think so. I think that's just a cuff. But I understand what you're saying. So, using keywords and pictures, that's a good idea. Yeah. And Jane is like going, I'm not sure. Scratch his head. I'm torn.
yeah.
Yep. And the Boomer Mill is here. Hello, Jonathan. Hello, Michelle Marie. Good to see you. So, yeah, and so I think for me, it's very much going to be using the keywords and giving myself the challenge to do that.
And
Because if
that's
I'm
totally
used,
how it should be.
yeah. So, I'd like to see all of the aces, twos, threes, etc. together. This is a fun way. I thought the symbol on this cuff was an element. Yeah. Yeah, I have not done that, Pamela, but that's a good idea. Okay, so one of the cards that I was like going, what in the world? Renewal.
Oh yeah. At first, me too. And yeah. Yeah.
So
And
this is 20. So this is judgment.
judgment. Yeah. And when I heard renewal, I heard redemption, but it's not even that. It's judgment. And the interesting thing about that card from the Rider-Waite perspective is, I think it's more in the Rider-Waite supposed to be about personal judgment, but instead what you have is, and it's a little plug here, you guys. If you look at the cover of my first book, you have talking heads, not the talking heads, the group, but you have talking heads speaking that are automatons almost. And what you have here is the purity of the dove coming in to take the ear away from the people that just keep talking and casting aspersion or judgment. But really, the judgment in the Rider-Waite, you guys, is more about your own judgment, right? It's not about someone casting judgment on you. So, although it can be, I guess it can be if it's reversed, maybe. But instead, what you see is these 4 like inanimate. They don't have heads. Their heads are like in my book. They're just lips, and they're just and then the purity of the bird, which is the judgment, right? That's coming in, I guess, to give judgment, even though judgment is really about self-judgment. Taking the ear away so that they literally, the expression, "Can I have your ear?" Or, and it's not about, was it Van Gogh who cut off his ear?
Yes, he
Okay.
damaged
It's
his
not
ear.
about that. It's not about that. And what it's about is people speaking garbage and rumors going around, and they just say, "You know what? The bird's had enough of it," and he's just like taking the ear. So
Yeah, all those talking mouths in one ear, and so yeah, it's an awakening.
Yeah.
And I think, and so the reason I pulled this out is it's made me go, what is going on here? and a lot of times for me, this is the judgment is about the bigger picture things, the more important things in life, the guiding principles. And I like how it reminds me of the importance of, I have to choose what I get to choose what I'm listening to. And I need to make sure that I am choosing the things that are going to be supporting me and renewing me. So, yeah, it would be a good card for a prompt in poetry night, Jeff.
It would be another cross promotion right there. Watch me and Heather tonight at 8.
Yeah. There you go. The bird is saying, "Talk to the ear." And this just in, Purple Elephant Deb H is here.
Hey,
I think you have to have an ear to hear, and if it's a personal judgment, you have to be willing to hear the criticism in order to change or renew. Yes. And Pamela said, off the cuff, "It seems these words confine the expanse of the deck, but fun." See, what's interesting is I understand what you're saying, Pamela. I want to see what these are like in a reading, and how to link those words together and what's that sentence. So,
yeah, in a poetry reading of something we write, or in just a regular reading, a tarot reading.
Yeah.
Both would be interesting. Yeah.
And Michelle Marie, Astrological Tarot, said, "Where else can you get the perspective of a visual artist and a poet on a modern tarot deck?" This is why I'm looking forward to reading with this.
Michelle Marie would be fun just to see. Watch. Do you take donations, Michelle Marie? I'd like to see you read with this deck.
I'd love to hear Bill and Jeff write poems on this card.
Yeah. 999 ASMR Tarot.
Yep. Yeah. So I think this would be well, and you use it for political reads.
Right? I do. Yeah.
So yeah. Same here. I'd love to see in readings. Yes, and maybe I can get Jeff to come back and we'll do that. So
of course you would.
He's very popular.
I'm very easy.
I've heard that. I've read that somewhere. Where was that? What bathroom was that in? So yeah, reading the keywords, it could be like a Lenormand. It could be, yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hide myself for a second, but keep talking.
I don't want to forget and I don't think Gerald has either, but the Independence card, I forgot who asked about that. The only one that came to mind at that particular point was what I'm considering the 9 of Pentacles, which is this card. Although now that I'm looking at it, you guys, I don't know if there are any pentacles actually in it, and there seems to be a pattern of it. This self-sufficiency, I'm considering independence, just by virtue of the word and the phrase intersecting. But the really interesting thing about this is you can just keep going with this in so many different directions. Reading, and someone might get a different. And what I like about it is when you're on one of these channels, there's a definite parity, parity, between what people get in their readings. But I'm thinking maybe if the palette were broadened a little bit with decks more like these, where the things might be a little more abstract, abstruse, that type of thing, you might have a dissension in meanings, but no one could disagree with them, whether it is political or whether it is, for that matter, personal. So I think that there's promise with decks like these. And I think even the one that we had the other day, this one that came out, you guys, I don't know, the Artist Decoded Tarot, which is just basically, it's AI, so it turns a lot of people off, but it's basically 4 or 5 different things that you can see in the deck, Gerald, or in each card that, and I did a video on my channel, that could be ascribing meaning to what the person's, or for what the person's looking. So it's really cool.
Yeah. Well, okay. So there was Pamela and Michelle Marie and Jane were talking about the idea of a deck interview. And I did a deck interview for this deck.
What's a deck interview?
A deck interview for me is I shuffle the cards, get them all shuffled up. And then I ask 6 questions.
Oh, cool.
And then I lay those out to find out what a deck is telling me. It's like, position 1 is tell me about yourself. Position 2 is what are your strengths? Position 3 is what are your weaknesses? Position 4 is what can you teach me? Position 5 is how can I best learn from and collaborate with you? And then position 6 is what is the outcome of our working relationship? So it is one of those things that it's helpful. So did you have any cards that you wanted to share? And I can actually share what my interview spread was if people wanted to see that.
I want to see it. I like this one a lot, you guys. I mean, it does look like I'm just pulling arbitrarily, but I do like a lot of the ones that my guides are pulling for me. The 8, I call this the 8 of Swords because it's restriction. However, the actual, just Braden's being weird if you hear panting in the background. The thing that she's carrying the burden of, at first I thought it might be the sign for women, but I forgot my biology. I think it's the sign for a male, right? Or is it the
female symbol?
Okay, so she is holding the female symbol, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, someone told me it was the male one on a different channel, but I believe she's carrying the weight of women's rights. And in the regular Rider-Waite, you guys, she's standing outside. She could take the blinders or the blinds or the blindfold off, but she's not doing it. She's choosing to remain that way. And here it seems like she's having to carry the burden of all those things right now that women are for which they're fighting. And yet by the same token too, the right about, the right to life and all these other things, I find very timely for a deck like this. And it doesn't minimize it, and it doesn't present it in a way that's funny. It kind of takes it pretty seriously, which I found interesting considering the deck is made in Russia. So
yeah. This is the 8 of Swords. That's what I call it. So one card I do want to share. One card is this idea of stress. And what I love this image because we see here,
be right back,
that symbol, the idea of social media and what other people are thinking of us is really, really powerful. And there's so much stuff that goes on like that. And it's just like oh, wow. So that resonates a lot with me. I was like, I like that quite a bit.
Yeah, and that is that the 10 of wands or the 10 of
Let's see.
I thought it was the 10 of, because I think Care Bear was asking about one of the 10s just now, and I thought it might have been the 10 of wands.
It is the 10 of wands.
Okay.
So Care Bear, you were getting into my space.
That's interesting, because
yeah.
I think that shows about how connected we are psychically to one another. Don't even realize it. What do you guys think this is? Now, no pun intended, but the devil's in the details here too. I didn't know what it was when I first looked at it, because the title of the card can be so minimal in terms of what it is in the Rider Waite. It seems more substantive of what the meaning is than just charm. So I looked at it. Anyone? All right, it's the Queen of Pentacles. Now, I had a really hard time figuring that out by looking at it, because even though the pentacles, I think, are wrapped in her head, they're there. They're interspersed between her curls or whatever. I don't see the Queen of Pentacles in a lot of cases, you guys, as resplendent of beauty, or they have money and they have the luxury, but that doesn't mean it's charm.
See, I see this is a queen, but this is actually the Queen of Wands,
okay,
according to how it falls in the guidebook.
Okay.
Because the exuberance, warmth, vibrancy, determination. So I could see that. Whereas the Queen of Pentacles,
what do you see as the Queen of Pentacles? Maybe I gotta cross this out.
The Queen of Pentacles, I would actually say, is motherhood.
Oh no, I did label this Queen of Wands. Look, it's got the W on it.
There you go.
Oh, so I did do it right. Oh, shit. See, this is what would happen to me in a live reading. I'd be like saying, yeah, and that one, motherhood. I had trouble with that one too, because the Empress was interfering with it, and then the whole fertility aspect, because the stork can mean fertility too, but also pregnant with the possibility versus just pregnant. So that was ruined with my mind too. But let me see.
And Pia asked this question before and has asked it again. Do you both feel this deck could be read intuitively without knowing the RWS correlation? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I think this is so true. So I think, yes, this is purchase responsibly, know your limits. It is an expensive deck. It's not a cheap deck, but it is one of those things to where do look at it. You can go to the website. There's some things, and oh yeah, there are no mistakes. Let's see the connection between these two queens. So yeah, and here. Purple H said, I tend to do that. P is eclectic life. You could read it however makes you comfortable. And yeah, it could be read on an intuitive level. Care Bear, do you have this deck? And Pamela said it's $62. So
this one, like, I know what I first thought this one is, and I'm still not sure if I'm right or not. This one I thought was 9 of Swords, because you have the guy waking up out of bed and he's like, clutching his head and whatever, or the woman waking up out of bed holding her, like that. But I'm not sure.
Well, I just had this one. I had this one in my reading. I'm pulling out my reading so that I can show you all.
The other one I get is the Queen of Swords, but I don't even know.
Hang on just a second. Okay, so I did 6 cards and I got 3 major arcana for this. So it's like, oh, okay. We're doing that then. So it's telling me that it's a pretty powerful deck for me. And okay, so you were talking about insomnia, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Insomnia is the Queen of Swords.
Yeah, that's what I put on the back of mine too.
Yeah.
See, but you know something though? Why? Why? It's almost as if the person that designed the card wanted to fuck with the rest of the world, because everything by virtue of what you're looking at would be 9 of Swords.
Well, yes, but also remember the Queen of Swords is one who gets stuff done, gets a lot of stuff done,
and
always strategy,
yeah.
And so right now she is caught in her head. All of the sheep are around her sleeping, but she's so caught up in her head she can't sleep. So
and Pamela makes a valid point too. That's you're telling us that's a queen. And then Michelle Marie says the Queen of Swords can be a classic overthinker. See, I hadn't thought that at first until I went back and then I thought about it. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to put that because the problem is insomnia as a word by itself would make it the 9, because that's what you see in the 9 of Swords, but it's not. It's so weird, you guys. That's what's so cool about this deck. It's a mind. It's a mind fuck.
Yeah. Okay. So my reading, if you want to hear it,
I do.
Tell me about yourself is isolation. And isolation. This is the 4 of Swords. And what's interesting about this is, as I was looking at it, is isolation can be helpful, but then we turn on ourselves and we get into overthinking and making things worse than what they are. So, this is a deck that is going to force me to think differently about things. I'm going to have to isolate sometimes. Your strength as a deck is ending, so death. This is very much an ending of it's going to make me, what it's going to do, it's going to make me let go of all of the stuff that I expect it to be, but it's also going to be the slap upside the head, and that's a strength for me.
Is he sitting? Jane wants to know, is he sitting on an ice cube that's melting?
I would say so.
Yeah, or he's trying to take a piss.
Or he's got an upset stomach.
Or he's got an upset stomach. And the thing with this is, it really brings home the meaning and the rider weight of the Hermit card, because the Hermit card's all about the reflection and not in a negative connotation, even though some people do see the Hermit, if it's reversed, as embarrassment or being exposed or whatever. But to me, I knew pretty quickly that Denise Knight had to show me. Astrologer Denise Knight at Denise Knight Divination had to show me. Plug her channel.
And so the weaknesses for me as a deck is searching. This is going to be one that's this is not going to be introspective searching. I'm going to have to engage the world. I have to line up all of the thoughts. I can't be pinging around.
Yep, and that's a valid interpretation of the card, because he's out of alignment, and not only is he out of alignment, but he's in the world out of alignment. So that is the Hermit card, though, in the Rider-Waite to me. What you said is a good example of interpreting the card based on the other cards around it and the reading about what it's what you really see.
Yeah. And so what can you teach me is insomnia. You can teach me to get out of my head and to not overthink things and take it at face value. Yes, his hands, his feet, and his head are all going in different directions, Jane. You're right. You're very right. So, what can you teach me is to stop overthinking things, look at things differently, so that I can actually, I'm like I'm surrounded by sheep. So, how can I best learn from and collaborate with you? Optimism.
This is one of the last few that I had a problem figuring out what that was, too.
And where did you put it?
Where did I put it? Well, I'm looking for it now because they're all shuffled. I'm trying to, let me get it.
Yes, Jane, make yarn. With all of those sheep, make yarn.
Sorry, this is a pregnant pause, like on Heather and my show at night. Sorry. That one I don't know either.
This is the Ace of Wands.
Yeah, I think that's what I got for it. I'm just trying to see.
And I love this card because, somebody is down and then somebody is quite exuberant and very happy. And that small action and having optimism really can change things. So. Michelle Marie said, interesting. Searching feels like the opposite of the Hermit. The Hermit uses the lamp at his feet, and the searching man's nose is in the air. He's not paying attention to where he's going. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Optimism is definitely more cowbell. I will gladly take that. I will gladly take that. Well, and I'll share what my last card is what's the outcome of our working relationship is start. It's the Fool. It's literally going to throw me out of my habits and allow me to get into something new and to do a new thing. So I think that's great. So essentially what I have is I have isolation, ending, searching, insomnia, optimism, and start are the key words that are here.
Optimism, here it is. Optimism, I put Page of Wands. Is that what you said? Or you put Ace of Wands?
I put Ace of Wands.
Okay, that's what I'm going to do.
Well, don't necessarily do that and unless you're really like
I got to find what I called the Ace of Wands, I can call the Page of Wands. Otherwise, I'm really screwed. Like this one, I don't know what this one is, Gerald. Healing. Do you?
Okay. Let me look that up. Curiosity is considered the Page of Wands.
Wands, yeah. Because you see the knowledge pouring from his head.
Yeah. Okay, you were looking at healing.
Yep.
Hang on. Healing. This was an interesting one because healing is where I have it placed from the book is the Six of Swords. Journey by Water, Root
Oh yeah,
Way,
I was missing a
Envoy,
six.
Commissary. Yes,
Yeah, I'll
Commissionary.
agree with that. Okay.
Yeah. I like that card too.
Hold on. 6.
Yeah, it is interesting.
What about this one? Contentment. I'm thinking it's one of the cups, but I am stunned. I am like, je suis étonné, as the French say. I do not know. Je ne sais pas. I don't know what that is.
So contentment. Let me. What did I see?
Yes, she's hugging a fridge.
Contentment is the Ace of Cups.
Okay. And then, did you get 6 of Wands for this one? For the Triumph card?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Victory or being shown. It looks like the state of Rhode Island or something. Rhode Island and Connecticut.
Well, do you know what it is?
What is it actually?
It's the thumbs up on Facebook.
Oh yeah. Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
This one, anxious. This I got 9 of Wands. I don't know what you got.
It is a wand. Hang on.
Yeah.
9 of Wands. I would say 9 of Wands for them for anxious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ramon makes a good point. It actually looks like Pennsylvania. It does.
Yeah. Well, and Miss Moonlight says this could be a shadow deck. Work. Yeah, shadow work. Yeah. Yeah.
This one I found hard.
Yeah, which was that?
I called this the 2 of Wands. I don't know why. When it's about, the beginning stages of planning or preparation. Why I called this 2 of Wands. When someone asked earlier if there were any independence cards in the deck, there's the freedom one, and then there's the self-sufficiency one. I don't know the freedom one, if people would say that's the 2 of Wands or what they'd say.
I actually like the idea of the 3 of Wands here.
Okay.
Or the 2 of Wands, sorry, the 2 of Wands.
That's what I do too. Okay.
Because this is, and I like how it's so, they're doing the same, they have the same shape in their lamps, and we have the freedom to do what we want to do. Hi, Viviani.
Oh, okay. Now I get it.
So, and it also says in the guidebook, it says, future planning, progress, decisions, discovery, fear of unknown, and lack of planning. And Jane, it could be a box of chocolates if you want, or it could be a laptop, because I see pizza box and I see a laptop. Longing for the freedom of popular. Yep. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, timing was perfect on that one, Miss Moonlight. Viviani is here. Hi, Viviani. Good to see you.
Hi, Viviani.
Thank you for being here. Were there any other ones that you were?
Yep. I think so. The one that when one was the Ace of Wands. Oh yeah, this one right here. This is the other one. Lover.
Mm-hmm.
And this can't be the lovers in the tarot, because there's no number up top. So
right. So where did you put this one?
I didn't. I had no idea where to go with it.
Mhm. Oh, I could show a commercial and do that, but I haven't really thought about that. Hang on. Because this one it was like, wait a minute, where are we with that? And yeah, caught off guard with her curlers.
Is it the Page of Pentacles? I mean,
okay, here it is. It is
Page
the
of Cups?
Knight. It is the Knight of Pentacles.
Huh. Okay.
Efficiency, routine, conservation, methodical. So I found this very interesting because, of course, the Knight of Pentacles is going to be very purposeful and is not going to change the routine, and he does not care.
You saw this as Knight of Cups, right?
Dreamer. That sounds about right.
And this is learning tarot. Okay.
Yeah, he is bringing gifts, Care Bear. So.
Indifference. What did you get for that? I got 8 of Cups.
That seems right. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. 2. Eight of Cups, yes.
8 of Cups, okay.
Yeah.
Because I thought what Miss Moonlight thought for a while, that it was the 4 of Cups.
Mm-hmm.
Apathy.
Yeah. So, this is one of those things that there's some ways to do this and ways to use it. And you can read this. You don't have to have a lot of RWS knowledge to be able to read with this.
Clearly not.
You could use this as a daily draw or something like that, or it could add other insight. It could actually. I'm curious if how it would interact with maybe I wonder how it would act with a thought. I'm curious about that. And this deck would complement the Living Tarot by Susan.
I'm writing that down.
Yeah.
Living Tarot. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And Miss Charlotte wants him at her door. Here you go, universe. Yeah, and you're right. I think this is really important because, the keyword interpretations are, they differ so good. I mean, so importantly, it's incredible. All right. Were there others that you...
Did you get 9 of Cups for this? I got like the Russian dude, with all the cups around him. I got 9 of Cups.
Is that overconfidence?
Yeah.
Hang on. Yep. 9 of Cups.
I'm holding it up again because Miss Moonlight's like, what is that card?
Yeah. And this just in, everybody. Miss Charlotte got her legs lasered, so she's always ready. Because if you're always ready, you don't got to get ready. So, okay. This has been wonderful. Thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome.
What do you have coming up on your channel?
Well, Heather and I tonight, And the rest of the week, I'm not sure yet, but I'll just wait for the guides and I'll get some downloads. So one in the morning, as I normally do. And I'm finishing my book. I don't know if you knew that. I have a new book coming out at the end of probably August, and I'm putting the final touches on the audio book for Speaks for Itself. So
I remember,
Miss Moonlight, I will not be on tarot class today, as you know, I think, because remember when you said I don't deserve a break when you were joking? Allie's going to be in for me today. So, yeah.
Okay. And Monday, I have Laugh and Learn. We're continuing our human design. We are looking at the authorities. We're continuing that. And then later on Monday evening, I have caffeinated and unfiltered readings. So, and then Tuesday, it's Tuesdays with Tarot Stash, exclusively on Jane the Secret Tarot. And then I'm doing readings with Jean and Joan. And then Jamie and I are doing a live on Tuesday afternoon. And Ramon Moon Scarab is supposed to be with me on Wednesday morning. I'm having my people, that's me, confirm with his people. So, your break is Miss Moonlight approved, Jeff.
Thank you, Miss Moonlight.
So, and everybody, thank you very, very much for watching.
Thank you guys. This was fun. And as I was telling Gerald beforehand, I thought this was a good direction in which to go with it, because this proves that you can read without knowing right or wait. Or
definitely. And I want to encourage everybody to please like and subscribe. If you've made it through the video watching the playback, please leave a comment. All of the links are below, so you can show your support that way. And hang out for a couple of minutes, Jeff, and we will see if we can get something figured out to perhaps we can read together with these. So, all right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.